Hello, this is novaTopFlex. In this video, I will be speaking about how to get support, contribute, redistribute, and expect the changes in Debian and Debian-based systems. Sorry if that's not the best or most accurate description of what I'm about to mention, but first, what other documentation exists on and for a Debian system? There are installation instructions. The reference covers many aspects of system administration through shell command examples, basic tutorials, tips, other information are provided for many different topics ranging from system administration to programming. The Debian reference package is available on Debian systems. The Debian policy manual documents the policy requirements for the distribution, the structure and contents of the archive, several design issues, the operating system, etc. It also includes the technical requirements that each package must satisfy to be included in the distribution, and it documents the basic technical aspects of Debian binary and source packages. Get it from the Debian policy package or at the Debian website's Debian policy. Documentation is developed by the Debian Documentation Project, available at www.debian.org/doc. It includes user guides, administration guides, and security guides for the Debian GNU/Linux operating system. Documentation on installed Debian packages. Most packages will have files unpacked into user shared doc and then the package name. The documentation, including what I have on my system now, is usually it's usually at least the Debian specific documentation. Not all packages have TXT documentation or MD Markdown or HTML. I normally prefer HTML documentation, but that may not always be available. Sometimes there are gzipped or gz, yes, tar gz could be in the documentation. The PDFs are available as well for the documentation and user share doc. The Doc Linux Debian package installs all the most recent versions of the how-tos and mini how-tos from the Linux documentation project. Unix-style man pages are also available with the original Unix man file style of manual pages. For instance, to see the manual page for ls, execute man ls. Execute man for more information on finding and viewing manual pages. New Debian users should note that the man pages and many general system commands are not available until they install the mandb and man pages packages. For general system commands, it's mandb and man pages. Debian also supports non-English languages through different packages in man pages especially. GNU-style info pages are available for many commands, particularly GNU tools, but not always. Almost exclusively, man pages are normally preferred, and not all commands have man pages, especially if you're installing them into user local. Not in man pages, but in info. In the case that info pages are used for user documentation, the general syntax on how to use the commands themselves without additional information tends to be on man. So it could be on metax info, so that's mx info, within GNU Emacs or with some other info page viewer. So yes, it can also be read by the GNU tool info itself. Its main advantage over the original man pages is that info is a hypertext system and does not require the World Wide Web. It was designed by Richard Stallman and preceded the World Wide Web. Info can be run from a plain text console. Note that you may access a lot of documentation on the system by using a World Wide Web browser through dwww, dhelp, or doccentral commands found in respective packages, or by using the command yelp. Are there online resources for discussing Debian at all? Yes. In fact, the main method of Debian support is by the way of email. There are lots of mailing lists related to Debian. On a system with the doc Debian package installed, there's a complete list of mailing lists in /user/share/doc/debian/mailing-lists.txt. So it's debian-list-subject. This is how the mailing lists are named. Examples are, well, not list-subject, it's Debian list subject. So it's Debian announce, Debian user, Debian news. To subscribe to any Debian list subject, send mail to Debian list subject request at list.debian.org with the word subscribe, I think it's all lowercase, in the subject header. Be sure to remember to add request to the email address when using this method to subscribe or unsubscribe. Otherwise, your email will go to the list itself, which could be embarrassing or annoying depending on the point of view. You can also subscribe to mailing lists using the www form. Also unsubscribe using a www form. The list manager's email address is listmaster@lists.debian.org in case you have any trouble. Mailing lists are public forums. All emails sent to the list are also copied to the public archive for anybody, even non-subscribers, to browse or search. Please make sure you never send any confidential or unlicensed material to the lists, including things like email addresses. Of particular note is the fact that spammers have been known to abuse email addresses posted to the mailing lists. See the mailing list privacy policy for more information. Archives of the Debian mailing lists are available via www.https://lists.debian.org. The code of conduct for the mailing lists as do not send spam, do not flame, do not use foul language. Besides, people receive the lists via packet radio as well, so that's illegal. Make sure that you are using the proper list. Never post unsubscription or subscription requests to the mailing list itself. And see section How to Report a Bug in Debian for notes on reporting bugs. There are also user forums on the web. Not officially part of the Debian project, though. There is also a Debian wiki. There are also maintainers. So to reach a maintainer of a package called XYZ, it's going to be at xyz.packages.debian.org. Usenet news groups. Users should post non-Debian specific questions in one of the Usenet groups, which are named comp.os.linux.asterisk or linux.asterisk. There are several lists of Linux Usenet news groups and other related resources on the World Wide Web, on the, for instance, Linux Online and Linux Journal sites. Is there a quick way to search for information on Debian GNU/Linux? Yes, there is a variety of search engines that serve documentation related to Debian. The www search site, Google Groups, is a search engine for news groups. For example, to find out what experiences people have had with finding drivers for NVIDIA graphics cards under Debian, try searching NVIDIA Linux driver. If you add Debian, you'll also get the post specifically related to Debian. Any of the common web spidering engines, such as DuckDuckGo or Google, as long as you use the right search terms, will also work. So searching for the string gives a more detailed explanation of the package than the brief description field in its control file. Logs of known bugs, reports on unsolved and closed issues are publicly available. Debian promised to do so by stating, "We will not hide problems" in the Debian social contract. The GNU/Linux distribution has a bug tracking system, BTS, which files details of bugs reported by users and developers. Each bug is given a number and is kept on file. Once it has been dealt with, it is marked as such. Copies of this information are available at https://www.debian.org/bugs. A mail server provides access to the bug tracking system database via email. In order to get the instructions, send an email to request@bugs.debian.org with help in the body. To report a bug in Debian, please read the instructions for reporting a bug in Debian. These instructions can be obtained in one of several ways. From the World Wide Web, a copy of the instructions is shown at debian.org/bugs-reporting. On any Debian system with a .debian package installed, instructions are in the file user-share.debian-bug-reporting.txt. You can also use a package report bug that will guide you through the reporting process and mail the message to the proper address, with some extra details about the system added automatically. It'll also show a list of bugs already reported in the package reporting against in case the bug's been reported previously, so that additional information to the existing bug report can be added. Expect to get an automatic acknowledgement of the bug report. It'll also be automatically given a bug tracking number, entered into the bug log, and forwarded to the Debian Bugs Dist mailing list. Use Debian list subject requests at lists.debian.org. Again, for subscribe and unsubscribe. Now, contributing to the Debian project. To become a Debian member or developer, open to all, and new users with the right skills and or the willingness to learn are needed to maintain existing packages which have been orphaned by their previous maintainers, to develop new packages, to write documentation, to do translation work, help with the Debian website, provide user support, etc. At the new members corner at the Debian website, there is a description of becoming a member of Debian. To contribute resources to the Debian project, mirrors are needed because the project aims to make a substantial body of software rapidly and easily accessible throughout the globe. It is desirable but not absolutely necessary to mirror all of the archive. Please visit the Debian mirror size page for information on the disk space requirements. Most mirroring is accomplished entirely automatically by scripts without any interaction. However, the occasional glitch or system change occurs, which requires human intervention. If you have a high-speed connection to the internet, the resources mirror all or part of the distribution, and are willing to take the time or find someone who can provide regular maintenance of the system, then please contact Debian admin at list.debian.org. To contribute financially to the Debian Project, donations from sponsors allow Debian to have machines as well as other hardware, organized conferences, and development sprints, amongst other things. For more information, please visit Debian Donations. The page also lists the different methods can be used to donate. One can make individual donations to organizations that are critical to the development of the Debian project. The main organization is Software in the Public Interest, incorporated in the United States, but there are others. It's an IRS 501c3 nonprofit organization based in the United States. The purpose of the organization is to develop and distribute free software. It encourages programmers to use a GNU General Public License, GPL, or other licenses that allow free redistribution and use of software, and hardware developers to distribute documentation that'll allow device drivers to be written for their product. SPI acts as a fiscal sponsor to many free and open source projects. Software in the public interest is not just about Debian specifically, but Debian has been an associate project since the organization's creation. SPI can be reached at https://www.spi-inc.org. Other organizations exist in different countries that hold assets and trusts for Debian. The donations page lists the trusted organizations individuals can donate to. As of 2021, there is a Debian France Association in France and Debian.ch for Switzerland and the Principality of Liechtenstein. Additional affiliate organizations in other countries are listed in organizations page on the Debian Wiki. To redistribute Debian Linux in a commercial project, chapter 14 now. Yes, one is allowed to make and sell Debian CDs. You do not need permission to distribute anything that Debian has released, so the CD can be mastered as soon as the beta test ends. No need to pay Debian, but all CD manufacturers must honor the licenses of the programs in Debian. For example, many programs are licensed under the GPL, which requires source code distribution. Also, a list of CD manufacturers are also going to be published by Debian who donate money, software, and time to the Debian project, and will encourage users to buy from manufacturers who donate, so it's good advertising to make donations. Can Debian be packaged with non-free software? Absolutely. While all the main components of Debian are free software, Debian has a non-free directory for programs that are not freely redistributable. CD manufacturers may be able to distribute the programs that have been placed in that directory depending on the license terms or the private arrangements with the authors of those software packages. CD manufacturers can also distribute the non-free software they get from other sources on the same CD. Nothing new. Free and commercial software are distributed on the same CD by many manufacturers now. Of course, we still encourage software authors to release the programs they write as free software. So, what if someone is making a special Linux distribution for a vertical market? Can they use Debian GNU Linux for the guts of a Linux system and add own applications on top of it? Yes, Debian-derived distributions are being created both in close cooperation with Debian and by external parties. One can also use a Debian Pure Blends framework to work together with Debian. Debian Edu/School Linux is one such project. There are several other Debian-derived distributions already on the market, such as DRML, Linux Mint Debian Edition or LMDE, Knoppix, Ubuntu, etc., targeted at a different kind of audience than the original Debian GNU Linux is, but use most components in their product. Debian also provides a mechanism to allow developers and system administrators to install local versions of selected files in such a way that they will not be overwritten when other packages are upgraded. This is discussed further in the question on section 11.9 of the 2021 Frequently Asked Questions. How do I overwrite a file installed by a package so that a different version can be used instead? And commercial packages are also allowed in Debian packages, so it installs effortlessly on any Debian system. The packages may or may not be free software, but the tool itself is free software, so go right ahead. And then in the next major release of Debian, whatever that is, at the time it was 12 because this was 2021 and Debian 11.0 was the latest version at the time. This is still